There's a crisis in the automotive industry that nobody's talking about, and this is going to make a major impact on available units you can buy used. We've seen what the new car market has done to the used car market. Well, when the used car market starts going down, that means you may have to go buy new because the products on the used car market is just not up to your standards or anyone else's. And I've experienced this on a few vehicles since I've bought this car lot, but I was really shocked about a 6-year-old car that had rust. We just recently had a 2016 Yukon XL that had just a smidge rust on one of the quarter panels. Not a big deal. We sanded it down, we fixed it appropriately, and we sold it, and it will be just fine down the road. But we've came across another Yukon with rust on it. This one right here, we actually are sending back to the auction. We do not want it because of this rust that we're about to see. Now, hopefully you can see that right there. Those little bubbles, not that big of a deal. That can be sanded down and fixed appropriately. But the issue is rust always comes back. We come over to the passenger side and look at this right here. This is all rust right here as well. This is a big bubble of rust. Now, we bought this GMC Yukon knowing that those two areas had rust on them. And as I was walking around the vehicle, didn't notice anything unusual. And I looked at the frame, I looked underneath, nothing unusual. It looked fine. Matter of fact, I'll show you. Look under there. Not that bad of a deal. That is normal surface rust that we see on vehicles all over the country. But I was in a shock of my life when I opened this door and saw this right here. Check out all of that rust right there. This right here, folks, is penetrating rust. This is breaking and cracking right there. And when I started looking underneath here, I poked my finger through right there. Look at that right there. My finger is absolutely through the sheet metal of this vehicle. Now, most likely what will happen is somebody's going to cut this out right here and they are going to repair it and it's going to come back. Now, this right here is going to be considered structural damage because this vehicle, the outer rocker panels per General Motors, is structural to the vehicle. The reason why, in order to fix that properly, to replace that piece, you have to cut out from right here all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. You have to cut out that entire area to replace it. It's not just like taking a fender off and putting one back on or a bumper. You have to cut that entire thing out. That right there is crazy expensive. And that's why I am sending this vehicle back to auction. They did what was called an unwind. They're basically like, okay, we didn't see this, we didn't disclose it, we stand behind our condition report and we will take that back and you're not costing anything. They refund us the shipping costs, they refund us the auction fees, they refund us everything. We're literally out zero outside of a little time of looking around it and making this video. So to further my findings with this rust, this is my neighbor's truck. I sold this to him a few years ago with like 30,000 miles on it. Nothing crazy, right? Check out that huge rust bubble right there. This truck was a one owner, no issues, no concerns, certified used, all that good stuff. And for whatever reason, there's a rust right there on that corner. Absolutely insane. But I want to address just a few more problems that I'm seeing all across the industry right now. Now, we know we had major supply issues on 2020s, 2021s, and 2022 vehicles. As we're headed into 2023, midway now, we're seeing that those aren't an issue. And it's going to take 5 to 6 years before we start seeing problems with those cars. So not until 2026, 2027 do we know the issues that we're going to have on those cars. I'm seeing major transmission issues all across the nation on all cars, including Toyotas and Hondas that are extremely reliable, which is absolutely insane. You would not think that one of them have issues, but I'm seeing them obviously on the Nissan Rogues. The Rogues out there are just absolutely horrible transmissions, and I don't even like to stock them. We obviously know the Kia engines are an issue and they changed those, so that's going to take another few years. But we also see a lot of Ford Explorers, Ford Escapes, Ford Edges, all of those I've been seeing have transmission problems. And of course, we know the transmission problems that we have in some of our 6-speed and 8-speed transmissions with the shutters and stuff like that. I'm experiencing shudder in this particular Colorado right now. we'll get it fixed. It should just be a transmission flush, but not that big of a deal, but I'm seeing that. But also, we're seeing major quality issues. I am seeing stuff like this all over the place. And the biggest issue that I'm seeing is when you set down, you see what that does right there. This truck has that issue. The GMC Canyon has that issue. The Nissan Titan has the issue. Almost every single Subaru I get in stock, I have to do leather repair. I have to do leather repair on almost all brands, makes, and models out there. So it's not just relevant to one manufacturer, it's across the entire industry. So those are the big concerns down the road that we're gonna start seeing with these cars. And you've just gotta be wary of this, because you just need to budget for those expenses, because some of them can get pretty expensive, but a lot of this stuff, like the leather repair or stuff like that, that's relatively cheap if you know the right people to go to.